What's up? It's Frank with Vyral Marketing. I'm here with Steve LaMothe, number one agent in Sacramento before the individual there that has the Zillow Flex team. Steve is very strong listing agent, heavily branded agent, listings, working his database, perfectly timed for the market now. At the time of this recording, it's almost November 2023, and you're seeing a big shift from having a buyer-dependent business, which is difficult with 8% interest rates, and shifting to a listing business. And Steve has always kept that. He's always stayed focused on going after listings. And we're going to have a discussion today about that. Steve's been a client for a long time, Vyral Marketing customer. We'll talk about him getting involved with Vyral and why he did that and the videos he's sending out, so you can learn that there. But we're also going to talk about call to actions and what messages you put out to the market, whether it's to your database with our lead generation emails, or maybe you want to do direct mail or radio or TV or cold calling, whatever it is to get a message in front of a homeowner. Steve knows the messages that work, and we're going to have a discussion around that. So Steve, thanks for doing this. I appreciate you as a friend and a client.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Take me back to your, was that good?
Yeah, I feel better about myself this morning.
Yeah, that was good. So I feel good about that one.
Yeah, that was great.
So take me back to your decision where you needed to solve a problem in your business with regard to how you stay in touch with your database. Lots of vendors out there, lots of different choices. Take me back to when you realized you needed to do something like Vyral, but you weren't sure that Vyral even existed or we were an option yet.
Gosh, that's a long time ago, man. I think it came down to we were a small team, meaning I did not have, nor did I really want to have a bunch of people or I didn't have the administrative support staff. And I certainly couldn't afford a marketing person, let's say, early on in my career trying to grow our business. So I always look for ways to find leveraged third party that I can not have a fixed cost, and I can just call Frank up and say, hey, I'm cutting your service. Never have done that. He's got a little web wrapped around me, which is awesome. Gives so much value that I just want to stay. But yeah, it was more about how can I immediately turn something on where I could just push this off to someone else and make sure that at least at minimum, we're sending 2 educational videos per month and all the other things that come from our relationship, Frank. I think more importantly, though, is just my core mission statement as an agent. I'm 37, about to be 38. I'm like the young buck in my market. Like in the top 10 agents, the average age is probably 55, 58. So I am of a different era. And I just feel like agents in general should provide more value, right? And the old sales model is very much broken. So that educational component for me and my generation is super important. And if you look at like social media marketing today and influencer marketing, it's all about giving away education for free as your hook, right? And so that's where it was very deeply tied to not wanting to send out corny, cheesy freaking calendars in the mail and, daylight savings cards to your database when iPhones update automatically, I've never forgotten daylight savings. Like, oh crap, dude, on my phone, I got to change all my watches.
It's funny. That's when I started Vyral. I was sitting in a class probably the same age as you, learning about the concept of the 33 touch. And I was like, what should I send out? And they're like, daylight savings time, pumpkin posters, calendars. And like, this is actually just when Facebook opened up from being just for college kids and to beyond that. Because originally it was just for college. You had to have a college email address to even use Facebook. And I was like, I think I'm going to use these tools. And that's where the idea from Vyral came up back in like 07, 08 was the idea, and then started the business in 09. So,
if that's the only thing you got to send it. I say that a lot. Send it, right? Like, get it out there.
Yeah, get something out, right?
Get something out. Do something.
It's a better way for someone to get to know you. And I appreciate you, seeing that as an option. And actually, here's a tip. I want you to take your webcam, bring it down a bit, Steve. Get in the center of the frame. I'll get a better thumb. There you go. Perfect. There you go. See, you gotta get the coaching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so
my desk is a little messy. That's why I did that. Usually I stand up.
Messy desk means you're working, Steve. You work very hard. Speaking of that, how many deals this year in 2023? You have 2 months left. Do you think you'll end at given your pipeline?
We'll probably land. I was just analyzing that yesterday. We'll probably be about 135 to 140. Not where I want to be, but that's where we'll be.
Nobody's where they want to be this year. I mean,
and of that, I will say, of that, like 97, almost 100 will be listings. So we're heavy listing based.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how much of those listings, is there any way to know with the money you spend with Vyral, the $625 a month, which what you said earlier, it is cheap. Like you're not going to find, especially now we're having a lot of customers come back because the price of American labor has gone up so much.
Yeah.
Like it's gone up considerably, especially California where you're at in Sacramento. For $625 with the cost of email credits and everything else, I can get this done where you're really going to be pushing really hard, trying to find anyone hourly on contract to be able to do something similar.
I tried. Yeah. I mean, let's be transparent. I'm always transparent with you. Like, I think that I could replicate it for a comparable cost, but I lose the relationship that I have with Vyral and all the other things that you guys do for me. So for me, that's not worth it. Right. And so it's really a small cost to pay. Like the people who are in the network, let's say a Vyral, like I bet half of them don't even tap into all the things that you offer. And so if you lean in and it's just like anything else. If you just kind of sporadically do something, it's not going to work. But if you lean in and keep it consistent, without a doubt, it's going to work. So I have looked at ways to like outsource that or bring in a virtual assistant to do that. You really got to hire a couple different people, and then it's on you to
to project manage it.
Yeah, it's so easy to just say, twice a month, I send you the video, you get it done, and you do it. And you've continued to offer additional value too. So it's not like you just set it and forget it, right? And the core business hasn't changed over the years, where you're offering letters and you're offering to help and you're offering ideas and concepts. So I would say it's very hard to give a direct ROI, like to say, okay, these leads came from Vyral's effort. I would just say every past client sphere deal we've ever done, we can source a little bit of that like retention to Vyral. And we can source a little bit of the attention to our entire database, because we don't just send to our past clients, we send to everybody. It's an important leg of staying in touch with our database, right? And so 50% of my business comes from Sphere, past client, agent referral, all those Sphere networks. So, I think Vyral touches every one of those.
So 50% of your listings, what, like 45 listings just come
easily?
Database, people know you, being in the business?
Yeah, I set 2 appointments yesterday. Yeah, referrals from past clients.
That's great. Okay. What video topics would you say have been the most valuable for you or worked the best, anecdotally?
I mean, it goes back to like, send it if this is all you got, but like the market update and like the things everyone is doing, I don't want to do that. I will send market updates like, hey, here's what's going on. We did that a lot in COVID because there was so much misinformation going on. But maybe twice a year or 3 times a year, I'll do like a general market update. Here's what's going on with inventory, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time it's answering relevant questions that are going on in the marketplace today. So there was a video that just went out yesterday. It's like, what does 8% plus interest rates mean to our market locally, right? And so I don't know the answer to that, but I can help frame what's going on in the marketplace today. And like for my sellers, I want them to know, like, dude, we list your house. Like of the 100 listing sales, I think we listed 102 properties, right? Like, so every house we listed sold. So it's a fabulous market still. And I want the consumer to know that, right? Almost every consumer that I meet with thinks that we're in this like bad real estate market when in reality we're not. So I would say the best topics are the relevant ones that are happening right now, right? If you're answering age-old questions that everyone kind of knows already, sure, it'll work. Send it, get it out, but I would add your own spin to it. And you also put out 50 questions that you can just copy, right? So just go down that list. If I ever run out of content, let's say, I'll just go pick or you put out a monthly email of like the most visited videos. Oftentimes I'll just pull one of those, and just put my own spin on it.
The one, you've heard about, obviously, about the insurers pulling out of California. Has that hit Sacramento?
Yeah, for fire.
That's a good topic.
That is a good topic. I've never talked about that, but that's a good topic for sure.
Yeah, you do something about the insurers pulling out. I mean, I would probably say like the holy of holies for a topic is commenting on something that's going on in the news recently. Like, it doesn't have to be that day. It could be within the same month.
One of our best was there was some big changes that happened to property taxes in California and how you can basically people could not transfer their property tax base from one county to the next. And in California, keep in mind, I know your clients are all over, like my personal property tax bill is like over 10 grand a year, right? So people are paying $1,000 a month in property taxes. So there was a proposition back in the day where it allows, if you've owned your home, they can only raise your property taxes a certain amount. So people are locked into their county. Well, it was like 2 years ago where they passed a bill where you could transfer to any county. That was probably our most trafficked video ever, right? Which was explaining how that measure allows you to transfer your basis. So that's a good concept of like.
That's like one of the main reasons for the housing crisis for anyone that's not from California is like they locked you into the property taxes that you were effectively when you bought it.
Yep.
So it had this lock-in effect.
Kind of like interest rates.
Yeah, and now it's the same thing with interest rates there. Yep. So it's just, because imagine being in California buying your house and then prices just going up all the time there, and then like your property taxes force you to sell, and all the voters got around, so we don't want this. But now you sit tight, then you hand it down from families.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who've been in a home for 30 years who have a property tax bill of $3,000 a year, but at current market rates, that would be $18,000 a year, right? Like, so why would they ever sell? They can't afford to sell, right? So that bill was a big deal.
Let's talk about your call to actions. So you've been doing this for quite some time. You record educational videos, hopefully, usually something on answering commonly asked questions, sending them out. And people, let me ask you this question. People do watch them. So how do you know, like, this is not a complete waste of time? It's hard to track direct ROI. But How do you know that this is not, when it comes time to shoot a video, Steve, and you have a busy day, how do you know not to blow it off and actually do it because you know it works?
I mean, we get an email at the, once everything is done, right? I am paying attention. I was trying to pull up our last spreadsheet, but I'll skip it. We get a spreadsheet, a week later, 5 days later, whatever the case may be. And then we can see exactly who opened the video, who watched the video for more than 30 seconds, who clicked links. So I know who's watching it, and I know that effort is not unfounded. I don't care if anyone watches it, really. It's like doing a client event. Like, as long as you do it and you call around it and you send the invites and stuff, it doesn't matter if no one shows up. At least you touched your whole database with that effort.
Okay, yeah. It's funny. It's funny when you say watch it. I'm usually thinking who clicks through and actually watches it, but just the fact of the video screenshot showing up in the email.
Yeah, my name shows up in their email. They're like, oh, Steve, they may not want to watch it, right? I don't really care. It's just name retention. If they saw that subject line and then that day someone at their work says, hey, I need to sell my house. And they think, oh, I just got an email from Steve. You should talk to him, right? That's all marketing is, right? Is about name retention. And that's why Bud Light and Coors Light run commercials. Everyone knows who they are, but they're just trying to stay in front of you so you choose them the next time you go to the grocery store. So I would say that that's the important factor, is to make sure. That's how I know it works, is I watch who opens the video, and it's a very small percentage of your database that will actively watch your video, but you'll be able to know who your top people are and who are paying attention and who are your best referrers.
You said you had 97 listings so far this year?
Somewhere around there, 95.
95. That's great. Okay, so the video builds trust. The video builds top of mind awareness. The video shows that you're the expert at what you do. The video creates the relationship. But then you have to tell them, hey, if you have a problem, I can solve it. Respond. Call me. Put your information in. Give me the call to actions that you put in front of an audience that hopefully has some brand recognition with you to get them to respond to generate a seller lead.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a long time. About 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago, we rebranded our business. I was kind of forced to. And, we went all in on, I just kind of call it programmatic selling, or we are selling solutions, not my ego or my sales track record or anything like that. And 5.5 years ago, this was very innovative. Like there was some people around the country offering this, but no one was doing it in my market at all. In California, probably not. So we offer programs, and that is our call to action. An example of that would be, renovate upfront, pay at closing. Like I've been doing that for 5-6 years. We've renovated probably 400, 500 homes. So an example call to action of that is get a pre-renovation meeting, or learn how to get 10 to 20% more on your home at no additional cost, right? Or renovate now, pay later without any fees, right? All these offerings, like we can solve a problem for a seller, and of those, let's say 100 listings, 80 of them will utilize that service.
Whoa.
Everyone needs something.
So of your 95 listings, like 80?
I would say 80% take us up on some kind of, or I am forcing, it's more I am suggesting to them that we need to do this, right? And because I can for you, let's do it. Why would we not do this, right? And if you put yourself in everyone's shoes, where all the value questions happen and the commission objections happen is the family who has the primo 10 of 10 home. You walk in, it's ready to go. Maybe they spent 2 months getting it ready, and they're like, you're just going to throw the sign up and take pictures, right? Whereas with our renovation program, we're training people to call us like 2 or 3 or 4 months in advance, right? And there is no question of value because we solve a problem for them that they can't solve on their own, or it's going to be exceptional work on their end to facilitate that.
Yeah, that's the message right now, Steve, in November and December.
Yeah, because we're gearing up for February sales. I signed 2 listings yesterday that will probably list in January or February. I'm in front of them today because of that program.
Hold on, you signed a listing agreement already?
Yeah.
Hold on, so you signed a listing agreement, but they're not going to list until March or February?
Not until the houses are ready, yeah. So we'll get them out of the house. We'll get the house ready. It might take 60 days to get through all of that. But I'm at the kitchen table way before the competition is. Right? And I'm solving massive problems for people. Like, that's real value. Like, hey, give me your key and I'll get your house ready for you. Literally. I'll pay for it. I'll plan it. I'll move all your crap out. I'll donate your crap for you. I'll throw it away. And it's really big right now because highly motivated people are the ones that are moving. So I get a lot of families, like the mom moves into a care home and the families sporadically throughout the country, right? And how are they going to manage this, right? From 100 miles away. And when I walk in, I say, man, just give me the key, just give me the key and I will make this happen for you in 1.5 weeks. That's a pretty compelling value proposition. We don't really charge extra money for that, but we could, right? We could easily get more money for that service. But again, it goes back to my mission is like, I want to provide 10x the value of every other agent in my market at the same cost so that we accumulate all of the buyers and sellers, right? Like, I don't know why anyone would not want to work with us.
Steve, that's impressive. That many of your listings took you up on a remodeling project. I mean, that's all you really know there. I mean, I feel bad. I don't even think I need to ask you for a second call to action, but let me ask for a second one. If there was a second problem that sellers hire you to solve, what's the second one in addition to the remodeling project program?
And I will also say that it's super complex to get into that game, which is why not very many people offer it.
Yeah, you're a general contractor.
Yeah, it is a superpower for sure, and it's hard to replicate. We were just like first to market to do it. And so the second call to action that we've been utilizing for like 4 or 5 years is the buy before you sell trade-in style. HomeLight now offers it, but I was self-funding that before HomeLight was even a thing. It originally started as we would make a cash-backed offer. So meaning when we make an offer on a property, we would back up the offer in cash if they missed the closing date. So it was like a guaranteed offer backwards, right? And then that like evolved into, we can help you get a short-term loan to make a non-contingent offer, move you out of your house first, renovate your house when you move out. And so now we're stacking our programs to help someone buy a house first, no extra cost. They move out. Now we renovate their house now that they're gone. They got their new home already.
And easily sell it's vacant. No to mortgage.
I mean, and if you start reading those reviews, it's like, dude, there's no one else that can do that for you. Like, I walk into appointments and there is no competition. It's like, they need us so bad that there is no alternative.
Do you like the homeward offer where we'll just buy your home right now for 88% of its value, and then you take the risk and sell it less a 5% fee?
It's the same
bridge loan concept.
Yeah, it's the same concept. That's actually how it used to be with HomeLight. They would buy the home. There's some complexities when you have to close twice, and they ran into some issues when the market actually went down, right? We ran into some issues in last year where we closed at a price, but then we couldn't sell it at the price we closed at. So there's some problems with that. It's all the same concept. All you're doing is helping them get a bridge loan based on the equity of their home. Whether you sell the house first for cash at a lower amount, or you just get 70% of your equity, they need to be like high equity sellers. And it's gotten a lot harder since interest rates went up to be able to do that. But through COVID, man, I probably executed like 100 of those. Because everyone had equity and we could trade like super fast, right? So we were just like moving them out and listing the house and closing it like 28 days later. It was so easy.
It just goes to show you that the real value, and you hear this more, if you're watching this, because you can be anywhere around the country. I'm fortunate to speak with like the number one agents in many markets. And the differentiation, the unique selling proposition, how you're earning a living and charging a fee that's not getting beat down by competition in the market is you have money. You have money, and you're coming in and you're solving problems with cash. Either it's a cash offer or a buy before you sell bridge loan or some type of however that's structured, or you have the money for remodeling. And I think, Steve, you're seeing a lot of brokerages. I was just down at the Real Broker event. You were with Kelly Williams. The Real Broker event was in San Diego, and their big thing there was the home remodeling program. And we want to provide the money and the short-term money and be able to enable you to actually deliver on these programs. I mean, let me ask you this question for anyone watching.
A lot of brokerages have said that, though. Easier said than
done.
I mean, you've done home buying and remodeling. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's easy to pitch it, and then it goes to underwrite, it doesn't get done, and then you're left with a 1-star review from the client.
Yeah, I want to give a disclaimer to everyone here. Like, you could go to Curbio. There's a company called Revive. In my experience, it's really expensive. And so the client's like, I'm not paying that much money to do paint. We're talking about small remodels, under 20,000. We're not renovating homes in and out, 1 week, 2 weeks. That's it. I think everyone listening here should be trying to work towards this. This is your number one goal. How do I differentiate myself in the marketplace from the agents that say, I give great customer service and I can sell your house fast and blah, 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 blah. You will be eaten alive by teams like mine who can literally come in and say, I will renovate your house for you. I will pay for it. You could just pay me back when it closes, whenever that is. It could take 90 days. I don't really care, right?
Steve, how do you not have agents lined up to work for you on your team?
I'm
not kidding. Like, really.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, I just don't think they really understand what it means. For my agents to be able to go out to a listing appointment who have sold 10 homes in their career and tell a seller, I could do this for you, and actually do it, is exceptional. I've had brand new agents take listings and we facilitate this for them. And that's amazing. That's like a free paycheck, right? I think that people don't really they underestimate what it is and also what it means. They don't even know how to utilize it yet. Because if you think about it, most agents sell less than like 8-10 listings a year, right? So, and they're getting those listings from people that they know. And so it's kind of just like they fall into getting listings and they assume that they're always just going to come, right?
Yeah.
But every year you're going to lose 10%, 20% of those to someone like me who's out there hunting these people and offering value propositions that are exceptionally high, right? And so I would argue that you should either partner with or start building your own moat and offering, because if you don't, Zillow will. If you don't, Redfin will. Someone's going to figure it out. Someone's going to offer this exceptional sales experience, and more consumers will choose it. It's not going to happen in 1 year, but 10 years from now, I guarantee it will be a lot different.
Steve, one of the things that you've done such a good job with is how do you turn a complete stranger that probably, here's always the question I put in my mind is like, how do you turn a complete stranger who think about needs to sell their home, but their wife's telling you, gotta hire my brother. It's going to ruin the family if you don't hire the brother to list it. That's done 2 deals, right?
Yeah.
And how do you convert when there's a friend or family member who's an agent and get them to list with you at full commission and turn a stranger into a client?
Let me tell you a story real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a call. It was a lead that came in like maybe 2 months ago. And I have not gotten on the phone with her until yesterday on my way home. And I've been texting and calling this gal, and she's like, yeah, she's like, I'm so busy. And I'm like, you're so busy to have a 5-minute phone call? Like, you can't. For 2 months, she was putting me off. And it come to find out, I talked to her on the phone, and she's like in her late 60s, and she had broken her femur. She fell, and her home has stairs and stuff. And she was going to sell her home last year, but she fell and broke her femur, and she's been having this recovery that's had challenges. Long story short is her son listens to a radio station that we advertise on, and we're offering these call to actions all the time, like renovate your home, help you get your home ready. We tell success stories. And she reached out to me just because of that. And she had 2 agents she interviewed last year. One of them was like her best friend gave her a referral because her best friend's an agent somewhere else. And so she had told me on the phone, yeah, these agents were great. I felt like they were good. We probably would have good rapport. But they came in and they said, you need to remove all your furniture. You're going to need to do this, this, and this. We can refer you one guy. It was more like, go do all this stuff and then we can sell, right? On the phone, I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. I can handle all of that for you. My number one goal is get you out of this house. So how can we get you into a rental first? And she's like, well, my finances are really tight because I got medical bills, blah, blah, blah. Great. I'll pay 3 months of your expenses for you on your apartment to get you out of the house. And you'll just pay us back when you close because you have $500,000 sitting in your house, right? By the end of that call, I'll pay to get her out. I'll pay to renovate her house. She doesn't have to worry about that. That's solving a massive problem for her. By the end of the call, she's like, oh my God, I'm so thankful I met you. When can we meet? Blah, 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 right? So there is a tight bond between her and the agent she met. But here I am inserting my way in the middle, solving problems that agent can't solve. And in reality, it's going to risk maybe 15 grand, 20 grand. That's a lot of money. But when someone has $500,000 in equity, they're not going anywhere, right? They're not going anywhere. And now you're a partner instead of a salesperson, right? The dynamic is totally different.
Do you put a lien on the house to protect you?
I would consult your broker and legal, but no, we don't.
Oh, did I ask a hotly contested topic there?
Yeah, some of this stuff is kind of gray area. I always look at it as this. If I had to go to court and I had to present this at court, I would say, Mr. or Mrs. Judge, how am I deceiving a customer by putting all this on the line, right? Like this is all about the ultimate fiduciary relationship for a client.
Got it.
Right? Like I feel very confident, like we're doing the right thing here. Yeah, we could get screwed over, but in 5 years we haven't.
Good for you, man. Thanks for doing this. I think you helped a lot of people.
I hope so.
Listing focused.
Yep. Renovation program. Buy before you sell. Instant offer. Mm-hmm. Pre-renovation meetings. Yep. I have another one that works really good is I have a buyer list. That's working really good right now, right? Like we have these 28 buyers looking for homes because inventory is so low because of, the issue with interest rates. That can help.
Steve, thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time, man. We'll leave it there.
Thank you, Frank.